Hey, and good evening, and welcome to another edition of Sports Corner. My name is Ralph Williams. It's great to be here tonight, and tonight I am live from Grove City, PA. I'm on a little trip with my wife out here in Grove City. We're going to visit Erie as well, and so we're here tonight. And tonight, my special guest is Kim Zubovic. I'm sorry. She's the general manager of the Pittsburgh Passion women's football team. Kim, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on tonight.
Sure. The reason I'm having you on tonight is to get my audience familiar with what you guys do. I know you're a women's football team. And the first question I have to ask you is, how did you survive the last 2 years without COVID or with COVID? Were you like able to practice? Were you able to like do some things on Zoom, do some training? How did you guys handle that?
Well, obviously, it wasn't easy. We went from practicing, 3 nights a week minimum, meeting with our girls all the time and doing a lot of conditioning and basic football drills to, really being limited on how much we could get together as a group. So, like everyone else, we were adaptable and used the Zoom calls, the Google Meets. Tried to get together in little groups. We actually did some conditioning online, so all of our girls could jump on and have one person lead and things like that. But as with everybody else, we just adapted.
What uh, How did that affect you this season? Were you guys able to get back into playing shape, game shape? I mean, as far as like this season went, it didn't take you off course at all or anything like that, or there was no like what they call field rest or anything like that?
Well, it's always tough to get back into swing of things when you've had 2 years off, especially when we're used to, a pretty regular routine. Football's, although our season is typically from April to August, we start as a team putting the pads on in January, and prior to that, tryouts and conditioning and some basic football knowledge. So it's a little bit tough to get away from all of that and not have access to that. But a lot of these girls were new and they were really determined to, jump into football. So, they jumped in real quick and were eager to learn and very responsive to our coaches and our training methods. So luckily it proved to work well for us.
Explain to my audience here, Kim, how long has the Passion been a football team?
The Passion first came to Pittsburgh in 2002. So we're 20 years into it.
Great. Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, okay, great. Now, you guys now play at West Allegheny High School, and in the past, where have you played at in the past?
Well, we started out at Mo Rubenstein Stadium up in Ambridge. Then we spent a significant number of years at Couples Stadium right down on the south side. We've done a college tour playing at Cal U and Slippery Rock. We did a season at the Highmark Stadium, but as you said, most recently we've been the last probably half a dozen years at West Allegheny High School.
That's great. It's good that you have a good relationship with them to be able to play there and not have to travel around all over East the Kingdom come to play football all the time or a different place. It actually helps that too because now people are familiar with the fact that you play there. And all right, we have some comments in the comments section. My loyal watcher Juana says hello to both of us and happy anniversary to the team. She says.
Well, hello and thank you.
So anyway, Kim, also, you're the general manager and you're one of the captains on the team?
That's correct.
All right. Well, what position do you play?
I'm a defensive end and an offensive tackle. So I play offense and defense.
That's great. How, how does women's football, as far as like positions, like tight end, or wide receiver, quarterback, and things like that. Do you get some of the women that are the same size as men? You know what I mean, as far as like that play the game.
Well, I wouldn't say the same size as men, but we definitely get a variety of women. As
Hmm.
anyone that's familiar with football knows, it takes all sizes and shapes.
Sizes, right.
You need your
Hmm.
quick little speedy backs. You need your long, lengthy, wide stride receivers. You need your strong athletic build offensive linemen and D linemen, that don't mind getting in the trenches every play. So that's one great thing about football. It really is a place where anybody can find
Oh,
any kind of
absolutely.
position on the team.
Absolutely. Uh, Tell me something, Kim. How do you define this season? I mean, I know you guys were 5-3. I know you guys had a few disappointing losses. How do you define this season?
I would say it was a success. As we said, with having 2 years off, having this is probably the first season since our first year where our roster toppled with more rookies than veterans, and for us to have made it to the Eastern Conference Championship game, I couldn't define it any better than a successful season. I mean, obviously, the ultimate goal is the national championship, but I'm proud of how far our girls grown, how tight knit we've become, and where we ended up.
I know you guys won some championships. Went what they first the first year I watched you guys. It was you went to the Super Bowl. What's it like now with the Women's Football Alliance? How's that work? How's their championship brackets and things like that work?
Well, with the Women's Football Alliance, the WFA, there are three tiers to the league. It's the women's professional or pro division, and then there's Division 2 and 3. The pro division is comprised of 11 teams nationwide. I think there's 5 on the eastern coast or eastern half, and then 6 on the west. So you primarily play on the east side, and we do crossover in some of the divisions due to travel restrictions and such. So we don't play exclusively pro teams. We do play Division 2 teams, and then our rankings are based on what's called the Massey ratings.
What kind of like? I guess you guys have scrimmages with other teams and things like that. How does that work out in pre? Do you have a preseason or anything like that?
Well, we put the pads on, at least the passion, for the years that I've been here, early in January, and start grooming the team and getting them ready to learn. Because a lot of times we get, women that are athletes, soccer, rugby, judo, basketball, what have you, but they don't necessarily come in with all the nuts and bolts of football. So, we try to teach
Right.
all that football 101 in the early months. And then, if allowed, we communicate with some of the teams that aren't too far for travel purposes. And we've gotten together for what we've called super scrimmages, where we've had 4 or 5 teams show up on a weekend, and we just keep rotating offenses versus defenses and things like that. So that's kind of how we operate with our preseason.
You're watching Sports Corner with Ralph Williams. We're here every Tuesday night, live on YouTube and Facebook. My guest is Kim ZUBOVIC, who is the general manager and also a player for the Pittsburgh Passion, our women's football team. I understand that there's another team out there. How do you guys compete with? Do you compete with them? Do you play with them as well, or are they a whole different bracket?
I'm sorry, which team?
I said there's another women's football team in Pittsburgh, and I understand it was some old members of the Passion that actually formed it. Do you guys play against each other at all, or they're totally independent, or how's that work?
Uh, no, we don't play any other Pittsburgh teams.
Okay, I just was asking because I know there is another team. I can't remember their names, but they play in some independent women's league or something. I've looked it up and found that out, but I
Oh,
wasn't sure. Yeah. And I was just, you guys play at West Allegheny High School. Are your games mostly on Saturday nights, or
yeah,
do you have any weekday games?
Saturday nights, 6 p.m. was the kickoff for this season.
I see. How's the attendance been this year?
It's
Have you guys?
Really good. I think with the 2 years off, people were missing it. So we had a really nice turnout for our games. We had a few games where we recognized moms and our breast cancer survivors. We had games where we recognized first responders and military. So we really got good response from all of that. So we had a nice return this year.
That's great. Oh, can you tell my audience how they can buy tickets and also how they can watch your games? I understand we were talking off camera. You can watch them on YouTube, and sometimes the Women's Football Alliance has games of the week or something. Can you explain how that works?
Yes, tickets can be purchased either directly through our website, or we always have tickets available at the gate. So there's never a shortage. There's plenty of room, and we welcome all. As far as the games go, we do broadcast our games. You can actually go online and find them. We have a YouTube channel, so you should be able to find any of our past games. When we have a game of the week scheduled, we usually put the link out, whether it's on our website, on social media, or through our news releases. We post all of those so people can find us pretty readily.
Okay, if a woman wanted to be a player, she'll have to go on the website, fill out an application. Is that how that works?
Well, we generally have tryouts starting the end of August, September, and we put a lot of information out to the public through the social media on our website, listing dates and times of those tryouts. But obviously, we don't want to miss anybody in case that doesn't
Oh,
fit in. So they're welcome to email Teresa Kahn, the owner, right at Pittsburgh Passion at gmail.com, or they can call direct through the telephone number on the website.
that's great. Kim, thanks for being on the show. I really appreciate you being here, and it's my pleasure to promote the Passion football team, and go Passion, and we'll see what happens next year. And I hope you guys actually win the whole enchilada next year. So let's see what happens.
I sure hope so. We would like to add to our team, our roster, and just keep building on where we were at this season. So thank you so much for your time, and we
You're
appreciate
welcome.
looking
You're
after
welcome, Kim.
us.
Oh, and by the way, Juan also says so nice to have the Passion football team here in Pittsburgh, and she appreciates it as well. So
Thank
I
you.
just want to let you know that. If you have any more comments on the comments section, she also says she loves listening to Kim. So there you are. At least Juan will get the word out there as well. She's my loyal watcher. So there you are, and I'll get the word out as well. And you have a great night and be safe. And thank you. And we'll have you on again sometime. Thank you.
That'd be wonderful. Thanks again,
All
Ralph.
right. You're welcome, Kim.
Care.
Thank you. That was Kim ZUBOVIC, the general manager and player for the Pittsburgh Passion women's football team. And we just had her on, and it was great to have her on as well. And we're going to start, having her on more in the future and a whole lot more. So it's great to have her on as well. Kim, have a good night. Once again, be safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. All right, we're going to continue here on Sports Corner. It's great to be here tonight. Ralph Williams here with you as usual. We're here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. as we are here on Facebook and on YouTube. So don't forget to also tune in as well on either platform. Tonight, I'm broadcasting live from Grove City, Pennsylvania. My wife and I are up here having sort of a little mini honeymoon up here in Grove City. We're also going to be visiting Erie, so if you're up around the Erie or Grove City area and you want to say hello, you can come up and say hello to us, and we'll be more than happy to say hello to you as well. It was great that I was out this past week and got some people that said they liked the show and watched the show, and that's great to know, and it's great to hear as well. Also, next Thursday, which is July 7th, it's starting at 6 p.m. on PCTV Channel 21 Comcast, 47 Verizon Cable in Allegheny County, and also live on PCTV's Facebook page will be Sports Corner TV edition with myself and my co-host Smoking Jim Frazier, who just was done doing Pittsburgh Sports Line with Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And thank you, Juan. I appreciate that about our mini honeymoon. Actually, this is sort of our actual honeymoon, I guess. You know how travel is these days, flying on airplanes and everything sky high and all that. But we'll save that for my other show and not for this one tonight. Lots to talk about tonight here on Sports Corner. Also, don't forget tomorrow night, 10 p.m. or 10:30 p.m., the Sports Web with Peter Blake on YouTube. I'll be on at 10:30 along with Mark Mancini, and we're going to be on Turnbuckle Talk talking about professional wrestling. We haven't been on for a few weeks because Peter's had other obligations, and I understand that. Thursday night, the Black and Gold Sports Podcast, Blog Talk Radio, 347-205-9631. Myself, Mark Mancini, Smoking Jim Frazier. We have lots to talk about. 30 minutes goes quickly on Thursday nights. You know how that works out. And we're going to be here tonight till 9 o'clock. Comments are welcome in the comments section. And we also, due to my being traveling tonight, I do not have my live call-in phone with me tonight for the live call-in. Anyway. All right, let's talk about the Steelers today. And, you know, I'm starting to get some of these folks out here, my other media colleagues and some other folks out here are starting to make their quarterback prediction that who the Steelers are going to choose as their starting quarterback at the beginning of the season. Now, I'm hearing all kinds of different stories such as, well, you know, it's going to be Mitch Trubisky already. Some sources have told me that it's already in stone that it's going to be Mitch Trubisky. My question is, are the Steelers going to rid the team of Mason Rudolph? And I feel bad for Mason Rudolph because he's been with this team as long as he has, and unfortunately for him, he got stuck in a numbers game. You know, being behind Ben Roethlisberger his whole career here. And the interesting thing is he has played some games, and I know he come up short, and which made him kind of expendable in this case. But I sort of don't blame him for what has happened to him. I sort of blame the team just a little bit because I think they could have probably gave him a little more of a shot to play. Like in 19, he lost out to Duck Hodges. The team just didn't seem to have any confidence in him, and that was the year that Ben Roethlisberger was down with his elbow injury. And I personally didn't think Ben was coming back, because we had seen what had happened in 1982-83 season with Terry Bradshaw. He tried to come back from that same surgery. He played 6 games. And then they had to give up the ship to Cliff Stout. And, then that all ended up being a nightmare and things like that. So, and instead of going into the draft and picking up Dan Marino, look what happened to the Steelers. They picked up Gabe Rivera, and Gabe Rivera didn't even go past the preseason. So we know what happened to Gabe Rivera. I'm not going to go back into the history books with that, but we know exactly what happened there. All right. Also, the Steelers have $21 million under the salary cap. Comment section's wide open. What do you think? All right, what do you think the Steelers are going to do with this $21 million? Go out and sign some more free agents? Or are they going to hold on to it for next year as a surplus? I think they need to go out and get one more offensive lineman. I'm not sold on what they have. I mean, I like James Daniels. I'm glad they signed him. It's an improvement. Mason Cole's an improvement. My question is, how about Dotson? Is he going to be available? My question is, and I wasn't real happy about Chuks Okorafor coming back. I thought Chuks Okorafor should have been shown the door. No, instead, they signed him to some long-term contract when they could have probably went into the draft and got a guy, or some of these free agents that were sitting out here with all this money they had. I thought they should have stockpiled both the defensive and the offensive lines. And, it makes for good competition as well. They're overstocked. That wide receiver was a position that basically was a concern after we seen the influx of receivers leave. James Washington left, and he went to Dallas. And now you have, Ray McLeod playing with the 49ers. and then Juju going to Kansas City. So we were stuck. I mean, the Steelers were basically stuck without a quarterback or without wide receivers. They went into the draft. They got two. They got George Pickens. And, and I believe that they're going to be able to get the wide receiving core back. They signed Miles Boykin, but I don't know if Miles Boykin's going to make the team, because right now we have a lot of people out there. And next week, and I want you to tune in next Tuesday, not only just next Tuesday on here, but also I want you to tune into my TV show. In fact, I'm not even going to reveal my 53-man roster. You're going to have to watch my TV show, Sports Corner, with me and Smoke and Jim Frazier. Both of us are going to come up with our 53-man roster, the preliminary, because all my other media colleagues have come up with theirs, okay? And some of them don't even have, I mean, USA Today has Mason Rudolph not even making the team or getting traded, and a lot of different media entities have said the same thing. They don't have Miles Boykin making the team. They don't have Anthony Miller making the team. Those two guys you have to watch, because we don't know what they're capable of doing, all right? And I personally believe that, one of them could make the team, and we'll find out what they do, what both of them can do. Preseason's coming up. It's shortened this year. Preseason's only 3 games instead of 4. There's not a lot of room for error at the preseason games this year because of the shortage of 1 game. In fact, if Roger Goodell really had his way, you would have no preseason games. I mean, he wants to really sort of, for more money's sake, have more regular season games. But of course, you have to have a collective bargaining agreement. I don't think the players are going to agree to that. Okay. I mean, again, I don't know. The interesting thing about the union now for the players, it's not as strong as it once was. Gene Upshaw was a very strong person. He was very strong. He was very good at what he did as a union president. I've been involved in my lifetime in 5 unions. Okay. And I got to tell you, some of them are good and some of them are bad. Some of them have weak leadership. Others don't. Some of them have strong leadership. In this case right now, the players union for the NFL, they don't have strong leadership right now. I believe that Gene Upshaw was a very good leader, and they've had a couple different guys who basically kiss the commissioner's butt and sort of don't really, go out there and really do for what the players need. Okay. Now all of a sudden now, we got these concussion situations, lawsuits, the pension, things like that. That stuff got left in the wash, in between, but Upshaw, again, was a great leader, in different ways. Don't forget about the 1 year that they had. They played the scab games, if everybody remembers. That's what they called them, the scab games with replacement players, which is how the movie The Replacements came about with Gene Hackman and Keanu Reeves. Okay. One other thing while we're talking about football right now, tell me right now in the comment section, since I don't have my live call-in phone with me because I'm out of town here. I'm in Grove City, PA, live today. And what is your favorite football movie? Mine is, I have a couple of them. Irresistible, the Vince Papale story. I actually thought that was a great movie. And I also, with Mark Wahlberg, I also liked Any Given Sunday. That was a great, great movie. Had a great cast. Oliver Stone always puts together a good movie. What's your favorite movie? What is it? Oh, also Remember the Titans was a good football movie. That was a true story about Kurt Herman Boone in a Virginia school system. He was turned down for a job because he was black. Coaching job, and he ended up getting a job with a new school district that was, segregating, trying to, put together whites and blacks back in Virginia back in the day, and things like that during the time of when segregation was around. So, that was a good movie as well. That was based on true story. Irresistible, the Vince Papale story, that was a true story. So Dick Vermeil was the coach when that happened. he asked for people off the street, and he got one. Got Vince Papale, became a special teams player. Very good player, too, by the way. Yeah, Juana says Remember the Titans was a good movie. Of course, Denzel's always good in every movie he does. But him and Will Patton played great roles as coaches. They were able to interact with each other. It was a super movie, And there are some coaches today, like Kirby Wilson from the USFL, Maulers. And we have some Mauler stuff coming up later on. I have some information for you about the Maulers. No, they didn't fire Kirby Wilson, but that's coming up later on as we finish our Steelers segment here right now. There's what are they going to do with their $21 million, the Steelers? What is your favorite football movie, and what do you think the Steelers can do with this $21 million surplus? You think I should hold on to it for next year, sign more players? I'd sign as many players as I can and use it. I get whoever I can find, get them in here. And if you can get them in here cheap, good for you. Omar Khan's already brought in Ojoko, who wanted a ton of money, and they got him in here for cheap. And I think there's a few more guys out there you can bring in here for cheap, okay? Because I'm still not sold. You have to control your lines of scrimmage. That's a simple fact. You have to. I mean, you really have to control your lines of scrimmage, both defense and offense. They have to stop the run better, the Steelers, this year on defense. I tell you what, and I've said this many times, if the Steelers don't do well on defense this year, it's a crime because they have Terrell Austin, they have Brian Flores, and Mike Tomlin, who has his thumbprint on his defense. So, that is happening as well. My next question to you as well about the Steelers is, what's your thoughts on Kenny Pickett? Where do you think he falls in this? Okay? I mean, again, I've seen preliminary reports that say that Kenny Pickett will probably be, a second-string quarterback. All right? Comment section here. Would like to see the Steelers sign more players with the $21 million. I definitely would. There are reports out that the Steelers, now listen to this, I find this very difficult to believe. One game, how could one game make a difference as to whether or not, Hines Ward gets into the Hall of Fame? There's all these reports out there that Hines Ward is not going to get in the Hall of Fame because of the loss to the Super Bowl in 2010, 2011, or thereabouts, against the Green Bay Packers. They didn't lose by much anyway. Okay, they should have won that game because Green Bay had fifth-string corners out there, and he couldn't pass the ball. He couldn't do anything. Okay, of course, then Dom Capers was still their defensive coordinator, and he's a guru at defense. All right, but then again. They could have probably won that game, and I wish they would have. And that was the game that was in Dallas. But let me ask you this. Do you really believe that? I don't. I find that very difficult to believe, that one game could make a difference as to whether or not Hines Ward's in the Hall of Fame. And you know what's funny? I think some of these reporters, these NFL reporters that are involved in this selection process, I think they don't like Hines Ward. I think they're upset because Hines Ward used to eat people's lunches. I mean, he used to knock people around and then get up and smile at you. And, there was nothing wrong with that. That was his way of playing. There's rules out there that are the Hines Ward rules, that are in the NFL. So I'm saying, just because of that, that doesn't necessarily mean that the man shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. I think he should be, okay? I really believe that to be true. He's won 2 Super Bowls. Okay, he won one with Bill Cowher and one with Mike Tomlin. So why isn't he not in a Super Bowl? That's what I don't understand. Okay, is it because he didn't hold a lot of good records? Is that what it was? I mean, come on, really? We're going to look at records to put this guy in the Hall of Fame. There's guys in the Hall of Fame that have done nowhere near what Hines Ward has done. And here we are debating about whether or not one game determines Hines Ward's fate in the Hall of Fame. I find that ridiculous. I think it's out of control. But that's what they are. Okay, getting back to what we were talking about. Oh, listen to this. The wide receiving money for wide receivers now, it's really getting out of control. And let me tell you what's going on with that, okay? It's getting so far out of control that now Deontay Johnson may really require a lot of money for the Steelers to keep him. And I don't think, personally, that the Steelers are going to be able to afford that, okay? And my co-host and friend, Smoking Jim Frazier, said this, and I agree with him, because this year's draft, there was so many wide receivers that every other position had a top 20. The wide receivers in the draft this year had a top 40, okay? A top 40. Comment section's wide open. I feel that it is wrong that he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame just for losing one game, and that's true. That is true. Comment section wide open. You're watching Sports Corner. I am Ralph Williams. We're live here every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. We're live on YouTube and Facebook, our two platforms. Don't forget to subscribe to my Facebook or my YouTube channel, and like me on my Facebook page as well. Don't forget tomorrow night, 10:30, Turnbuckle Talk Sports Web on YouTube with Peter Blake. Myself, Mark Mancini, will be talking professional wrestling. Lots to talk about this weekend. Coming up on Saturday, Money in the Bank, ladder matches, pay-per-view for the WWE. And stay tuned, because I have my Wrestle Talk show going to be moving into the TV part, possibly. I'm considering that as well. And I'm also considering bringing back my Wrestle Chat show on Wednesday nights. And we're going to find out exactly. I'm considering doing that, but I have to be careful with a few things. So I'm trying to put together maybe something to expand that a little bit better. And we're going to go from there on that, because nobody really talks extensive professional wrestling in this town. I know a colleague of mine who's on another station. He talks it occasionally. He'll have a guest or two on when they're in town. But other than that, he really doesn't go into it thoroughly like Mark and I do, and Smoke and Jim on our show on Blog Talk Radio every other Thursday at 8 p.m. So, and then also with Peter Blake, we go into things specifically as well. Plus, you can also call live into Peter Blake's show and talk with us if you're interested in doing that as well. We're live tonight here in Grove City, PA. I'm on a little mini honeymoon with my wife. We're up here visiting. Next Monday night on The Way I See It, we'll be live here at Grove City as well. Tuesday night, we'll be back in Studios 808, where we'll be back talking in regards to the Sports Corner show. All right, the Pirates, their 29-44 record tonight. And they're in right now, and I understand they're down 1-0 right now. At least that's the last I checked. That was about 20 minutes ago. I'll get you an update as soon as I can here. But as of right now, they were down to the Washington Nationals already. Nationals are 28-46 tonight. Quintana is on the mound. He's 1-4, Jose Quintana. And Washington's Corbin is on the mound. He's 3-10. He's not doing too good. Problem with the Pirates is they keep on losing these really close games. Now the bullpen's burned out. I'm hearing Bettner's got an injury. His arm is tired. It's like a small injury, like tired arm injury, I guess you could call it. Where you get a tired arm from pitching too much. And I know that Derek Sheldon has tried to give Bettner a rest. Okay, he has tried, but he has not succeeded, and the reason for that is because he's needed Bettner here and there, because everybody else has laid an egg as far as as far as pitching goes. The bullpen's has been blowing games now for the last couple of weeks or more, and it's either one thing or it's another with the Pirates. It's either no hitting or bad bullpen pitching. Somebody keeps messing up, mistakes galore, and then Tarek Brock. And, I like Tarek Brock. He's a good guy. He has a show on Blog Talk Radio, like I do with my Wrestle Talk show with Mark Mancini. And he's also part of Mancini Media. He has a show on Mondays and Fridays at 10 a.m. You can call in 347-205-9631 to listen to his show. It's on for 15 minutes. And one day I was listening, and he said, it's just growing pains. We're going to have to learn to live with this and all that for another year or two, because that's what's going on. It is the truth. I mean, that is what's going on. But there's no excuse, Tarek, for simple infielding. There's no excuse, Tarek, for having a bad bullpen. There's no excuse for screw-ups running the bases. That's all basic baseball. You could ask my friend Claudio Rosano. He's a coach of the Carnegie Mellon baseball team. I mean, we're talking simple fundamentals, okay? And look at what we have here. And if those simple fundamentals would be a lot better, okay, the Pirates would be a lot better, all right? I don't care how young you are. It's a simple fundamentals of baseball. And that's what's going on right now, okay? Should Derek Sheldon be on a hot seat, okay? A lot of people are saying no. Some people are saying he's the right manager for the job. I had Marty Leap on a few weeks back. He said he thinks, and I sort of agree with him, he's another John Russell. He's going to sit around and keep the seat warm, and they're going to look for another experienced manager like a Clint Hurdle, who, you know, that's what John Russell did. He held the fort down for a couple of years. Pirates were bad, and then they brought in Clint Hurdle, and Clint Hurdle was available. Right now, I think they should bring in Joe Madden as a consultant or something. I think Joe Girardi's sitting out there. Okay, why not bring him in here as a consultant or an assistant to the coach or whatever? I don't care if he's handing out water and giving out peanuts to the players. I don't care. Bring somebody in here that has a little bit of experience as a manager, and bring him in here and help. I mean, Joe Madden is great at working with young talent. He was so good down in Tampa Bay. See, the good thing about Joe Madden is he's worked with both, the expensive type experienced players, the guys that make big money, and, some people would call them prima donnas. He's good at working with them, and he's good at working with young players as well. And I say bring one or both of them in here. Do what you need to do to win. I don't care. Bring them both in here, okay? All right, Andy Haynes was supposed to be this big hitting instructor, and we're still not hitting, okay? All right, I should have listened to my friend Eric Katz, who has a website and does reporting up in the, in the Great Lakes area, okay? I've been on shows with him with Scott Morganroth, and he come out and told me Andy Haynes really isn't all that great. But again, Milwaukee had good hitting over the years with Andy Haynes. And now he's here as a hitting instructor, and he stinks. I don't think they should have brought back Brandon Marin as the pitching coach. I think they should have went out and looked for somebody else, okay? Somebody like a Ray Searage who can fix, your mechanics or whatever. I mean, he's fixed Keller's mechanics. Keller's been winning games the last few weeks, okay? The problem with the Pirates is it's too much inconsistency, and it's going to take one, maybe 2 more years before they become good. The prediction right now is 2024, and that's the prediction right now. All right, Penguins. Penguins are having some issues with free agency right now. Ron Hextall hasn't done anything, and I think that the Fenway Group, who just took over the Penguins full time, okay, should fire Ron Hextall. There's other GMs out there. I think they should fire Mike Sullivan. I think they should clean house. I really believe that to be true. All right? Because of Mike Sullivan's stubbornness over the last, 5 years, his stubbornness is his worst enemy. Okay? He's refused to let bruiser guys come in here and get on the lines with Malkin and Crosby so they could stay healthy. All right? Okay? He has this run and gun type offense, which works sometimes and don't work. Penguins got a lot of issues. They don't have money under the salary cap. Can they bring that Rochelle back? Can they bring they traded for him? All right. We don't have any draft capital because all of our draft picks got traded by the Jim Rutherford regime. Okay. I mean, that's just, it's a poor state of affairs, and I feel bad for Ron Hextall because he got stuck with this, okay? But my question is to the Penguin Brass, the Fenway Group, what are they going to do? It's a mystery right now. Nobody knows, all right? What are they going to do? Hextall hasn't made a move. He hasn't done anything. Malkin and Letang, I heard talks haven't even started, or there's nothing going on. That's what my insiders tell me. Okay, and that's sad because Malkin and Letang, as much as I don't really like Letang, I really would rather see him go than Malkin. Okay, and I got people out here arguing with me, telling me that Letang is the greatest thing since sliced bread. No, okay, everybody forgets about the last few years about Letang has done nothing. If it wasn't for his stupid mistakes, we would have went ahead in the playoffs. Okay, everybody forgets that. All right, we need a backup goalie. Look at the situation this year when Jari got hurt. The Smith stunk up the joint, then he got hurt. Okay, all right, and then you have Louis Dominique or Domawan or whatever his name is. All right, no one can pronounce it correctly around here, so it doesn't make any difference anyway. All right, he is what he is. He's a third string goalie. Okay, he did what he did or what he could to hold the fort down, for the Penguins as much as he could do. Defense was terrible this year. Didn't really, drop the puck, as they say. All right, because I mean, I can't say drop the ball. All right, but that's exactly the way it is with the Penguins right now. Everything's a mystery. You might as well write a mystery novel because nobody knows what's going on right now until it happens. And I don't think Hextall has the balls or the guts to be able to, do his thing as far as getting the players in here that we need. I don't know what he has in salary cap to play with. I really don't. All I know is that, like I said, my insiders tell me Malkin and Letang may both be gone. And do they have a plan to replace them guys? I'm hearing stories about Brian Burke's job. I heard Fenway Group's not real happy with him right now. He's the director of player development, and development hasn't happened in the last 2 years since he's been here. So I don't know what the Penguins are going to do, but there's too much mystery right now surrounding them. Malkin, Letang, they've already signed Rust. That was the biggest concern, was whether or not, and Hextall came out and said, I can only sign 2 of the 3. And he's already signed Rust. Which other one can he sign? Does he? What money does he have? What do? Do you toss a coin and see who it is? Okay, but like I said, backup goalies, they need a backup goalie badly. I hear Fleury's out there. Do you bring him back? Can he or will he come back for his retirement on the cheap? All right, or is he going to command a lot of money like he always has? He's up in age, but he'd be a perfect backup for Jari if he's willing to come back at that. He loves Pittsburgh. He loves him and Crosby are best friends. Maybe Crosby can do some kind of, recruiting with the Penguins and say, hey, look, bring him in here. Let's see what happens. All right, let's get into some other sports news today. The NFL has hired David Highhill, is his name, as executive for betting. He's going to be the executive to explore betting. All right, because there's a lot of betting in sports, and the NFL is one of the number one betting sports across the country and around the world. The NFL always has a big audience. So that would be a smart idea. Former Pitt and NFL player Tony Saragusa passed away at age 55. Sad to hear about the Goose. He was a great football player at Pitt. He was with the Colts and with the Ravens for a little while. 55, passed away. Sad to hear. Former Steeler backup quarterback Bruce Gradkowski is opening a restaurant in Toledo, Ohio. So there you are. His restaurant that he has in Toledo caught fire. So sorry to hear about that with him. Bruce is a good guy, was a good backup with the Steelers until he hurt his leg and decided to retire. Possible trade partners for Cleveland in regards to Baker Mayfield. One of them is Seattle. Well, of course, Seattle's been looking for a quarterback, when they traded Russell Wilson. And, I thought maybe perhaps Seattle might have made this move already, and I just don't understand what's going on with them. But it's that's what's been happening, and I think that they need to make this move if they want Baker Mayfield. All right, I thought the Steelers should have pursued Baker Mayfield, but of course Cleveland's not going to trade or work with the Steelers right in their own division. No one, too many people do that, But of course, the Ravens gave us let us sign Miles Boykin and Chris Wormley. There must be a reason that the Baltimore Ravens let that happen. So, all right. But anyway, and speaking of Baker Mayfield, he's looking to move on. He doesn't want to be with the Browns. Browns let him hang out to dry. They try to bring in, Deshaun Watson. He's got legal problems. I think Cleveland's got egg on their face. They gave up all them draft picks to get him. And now he's going to be suspended. I'm hearing at least he may even be kicked out of football for all this permanently. All right? And if they decide to move Baker Mayfield, Jacoby Brissett's their only other option. And he's ranting and raving about how he thinks he's probably going to be the starting quarterback this year for the Browns. Jacoby Brissett's been around. He was backing up down in Miami last year. He's been around Dallas, Colts. He's been around Jacoby Brissett. So, in fact, there was talk that the Steelers might have been looking to bring him in here when they were looking to bring in an experienced quarterback. And I'm glad that they brought in, Mitch Trubisky. I said they were going to bring in Mitch Trubisky. I was one of the media people in this town that said that I thought they should have brought him in, and they did. Next, the USFL has announced that they will add 4 new teams in the 2023 season. Now, this has been put on hold, okay, and I'll explain later, but they are going to have 4 teams come up probably not even next year, probably the year after, unless they can get some money. I'm hearing stories right now, and I read a report tonight that they're seeking outside investors to help fund expansion. Fox owns the USFL, the United States Football League. And, of course, we have the Pittsburgh Squallers, I call them, because they squalled this season by being 1-9 and had a coach that got rid of a player over a piece of pizza and just acted like a total dictator. It was terrible. And, his team didn't do anything. But the 4 teams that they are going to add, if they can do it next year or the year after, the Columbus Blitz, the San Antonio Gunslingers, the Oklahoma City Outlaws, and the Memphis Showboats, which the Showboats, I believe, and if I'm not mistaken, the San Antonio team were with the USFL at the beginning when it started back in the 80s. The Birmingham Stallions are in the championship game. It'll be played this Sunday, July 3rd, in Canton, Ohio. I've been telling people on Facebook, and everybody thinks, why would I even... Yeah, our comment section says it's sad to hear the passing in his 50s. Yes, it is. All right. And it seems like a mystery as well as what the Penguins are going to do in the comment section as well. All right. You too can join in like Juana in the comment section. We're here till 9 o'clock. You still have 12 minutes. So if you want to comment on anything I'm talking about here on Sports Corner, we're here every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Live on YouTube and Facebook, our platforms. All right, let's get back to this now. The USFL, the game will be on Sunday, the championship game. It's in Canton, Ohio, at the Hall of Fame. I'm telling you, it's an easy drive. It can't be that expensive. Take your family, go watch the USFL championship game. Might be fun. You can go to Hall of Fame, see the Steelers. Hey, there you go. Great trip idea. And I got these people, why would I want to take my family to Canton, Ohio? Use your imagination a little bit. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. There are people out here, their brain is so hollow, they can't think straight. They would rather spend $8 million and take their whole family to Florida, break the bank, take out a loan, okay, rather than saving some money, some gas, and some time dealing with the airline and all this other, horse and cadoodle. They would rather do that than to go to Canton, Ohio, which you can have just as much fun in Canton, Ohio as you can in Florida, okay, without having to go through all that hassle. Great, easy trip idea. And I get that. Why did you tell me that for? Well, you know what? I get that all the time from people. And you know what? I really don't even care because you know what? Everybody's entitled to their opinion. If you want to spend $1 million and go out and have to take out a loan because you want to be stubborn, you go do it. I gave you a trip idea. It's an idea. All right. Take a trip there. All right. I would do it. I would. It's a great trip. Go see the Hall of Fame. Go see the Steelers and the Hall of Fame stuff. You know, your I think kids and family would enjoy that. Yeah, why didn't you tell me that for? I take my kids to Disney World. Uh, you know, I'm not going to go there. But they're playing the Philly Stars. It's going to be a great championship game. It'll be on this coming Sunday, July 3rd. And so take a look at that. That's the USFL news I have for you. And speaking of the Maulers, there's some reports out there that the Maulers are going to be back next season. USFL, as usual, I don't get this league. Why do you plan things at the last minute? You mean to tell me you don't have a plan for next season as to where these teams are going to go? Supposedly, they're supposed to all go into their home areas. Okay? Now they're talking about maybe having Pittsburgh host all the games. That'd be great. Have all these players, and the economy would be great. The restaurants, everybody make money. You'd have all these different people, in town visiting to want to see their team play. Okay, that would be wonderful. But they would have to hold it at Heinz Field in order for all the teams to play. All right, or maybe they could host it somewhere else. I don't know. All right, but now the question is, if the Maulers do come back and play here next year, where are they going to play? Well, first, the story I broke, and I broke this story on when I used to do my Mauler show, was that they may play at Couple Stadium over in the south side. I'm hearing that now. I'm hearing Joe Walton Stadium out in Moon, Robert Morris facility. They can't play at Highmark Stadium. Highmark doesn't want football there anymore. If you listened earlier, Kim ZUBOVIC said that, told me off camera, that they played there at Highmark for one season, and Highmark and the Riverhounds, they only want soccer, lacrosse, things like that there, and maybe some football camps here and there. They don't want someone tying up the field like that there. Okay? So I'm even hearing Duquesne's Rooney Field. Those are some of the places that I'm hearing that perhaps the Maulers may play at. So we'll find out. We'll see where the Maulers will play. They can't play at Heinz Field. It's too big for what they're doing. All right, Major League Baseball. Tomorrow, the mayor of St. Petersburg, Florida, is going to make a decision on Tropicana Field. Tropicana Field, from what I hear from my buddies down in Florida, Peter Blake and Scott Morganroth, I hear it's a dump. Greg Eichhorn, they've all told me this from the South Florida Tribune. It's a dump. I hear that the Rays don't draw anyway, so because it's in St. Pete. So I think the mayor there, I don't know if they want to have a new facility, and if they do, I'm told that they need to move it to back to Tampa. They can't have it in St. Pete because it's not going to work there, from what I hear. So we'll see. Colorado Avalanche, congratulations to them, won the Stanley Cup. And, of course, as I mentioned before, Jack Johnson plays for them. And Jack Johnson, when he was here, he's a defenseman. He was a bum. Played for Columbus for a while. He was good there. Came here. He stunk up the joint, was a bum. Got hurt a lot. And now he's with Colorado and helps them to win a Stanley Cup. They beat Tampa Bay in 5 games. Boxing. Now, I don't talk boxing very much, but this you got to hear. Le'Veon Bell, former Steeler running back, Ravens running back, and Kansas City running back, and Jets running back as well, is going to play is involved in a boxing match, an exhibition match, with former NFL running back Adrian Peterson, who has played for many teams as well. So that's going to be an exhibition boxing match for the eyes to see. And that was my other sports news tonight. In closing tonight, in my closing commentary, high school football has become politics just like everything else. You have parents out here that are upset because little Johnny, little Stevie, little Ray isn't playing a lot in games. Okay? So what do? They get on the board. They become members of the school board or they're on the athletic commission or whatever, and they try to crucify the coach. That goes on all the time. Okay? Eric Kasparovich, he got screwed at Pine Richland. All right. Terry Smith got screwed at Gateway. All right. The coach out at Aliquippa, he got screwed and ran out the door. All the years that he brought titles there and everything, they ran him out because Sean Gilbert, the former Pitt player and NFL player's cousin or somebody, wanted a job. He didn't like him. Well, you know what? Some of these people, and the politics of this, everybody, is this. And I know this for a fact because I'm always involved in different politics no matter what I do, okay? Whether it's church, my transit council, whatever. I'm involved in politics because there's politics in everything. And now it's really bad in high school football. You got these people in this town, somewhere across the United States, complaining about a prayer and a football game. This coach has been doing this forever in 6 years. And now all of a sudden you got parents and people out there don't want him to do this prayer. So they fired him. They fired him. Well, he took him. He actually went after them, and now he got his job back for that. Okay, how can you justify? So what if the guy prays at halftime? Okay, maybe his team needed the prayer. All right, but that's what he does. And here we are complaining about it. Here we are. Don't worry about this stuff. High school football should be for the kids, to help kids grow. Give kids things to do because right now kids don't have enough to do. And you see what's going on out there. Okay? They need to be involved in activities like football and baseball and stuff like that, like they used to be. Back in my day, you used to have 15 teams or 20 teams on the Bloomfield Athletic Association for Little League Baseball. We used to have Pony League, whatever. We had all that. Now we're lucky if they could field one team. Same with Lawrenceville. Same with all these places. Okay? All right? You should be lucky that the school can even have athletic programs for their kids, for your kid, for your child. All right? Then you got these people complaining now that North Hills wants to spend $600,000 of money that they could take to maybe fix the field, maybe do a couple other things. It's going to cost $600,000 to fix or to rebrand the school because it has Indians in it. It has Indians in it. I'm waiting for Penn Hills next to do that because they have Indians as their mascot. Okay? Your parents came and said, no, don't do this. Where is this thinking here with these kids? What is the thinking? What's going on here with these kids? Okay? What is going on with these parents? I'm sorry, these parents and these school board people and these executives in these schools and these superintendents. All right? Athletic program is very important because it keeps the kids out of trouble. It keeps them from going out and shooting people and robbing Grandma Mabel or going out and doing whatever, getting into mischief, throwing eggs, spray painting walls, whatever these kids do these days. Okay, it stops them from doing it. Gives them something to do, something to be proud of, something to, okay, I play football, I play baseball, I play golf, whatever it is that I play, that the school has a program for, an athletic program. Okay? This is what needs to happen, and you're going to sit there and complain because of a mascot, and then you're going to complain about a guy who's doing prayer? We don't need to be complaining anymore. We need to start supporting these people. Okay? These administrations, the parents need to step up and get rid of some of these people who do backward thinking. And that tonight is my closing commentary for Sports Corner tonight. Don't forget next Thursday, July 7th, 6 p.m. live call-in, 412-231-2288, PCTV, Channel 21, Comcast 47, Verizon Cable, live on PCTV's Facebook page. Don't forget tomorrow night, 10:30, the Sports Web with Peter Blake, Turnbuckle Talk, myself, Mark Mancini, and Peter Blake. Don't forget about Thursday night, the Black and Gold Sports Podcast. myself, Smoking Jim Frazier, Mark Mancini, 347-205-9631, Blog Talk Radio for you to listen to the show. Saturday, 5 p.m., PCTV Channel 21, Comcast 47, Verizon Cable, 5 p.m. Saturday, Sports Corner, me, Ralph Williams, co-host, Smoking Jim Frazier. Every Saturday, 5 p.m., every Tuesday night, here 8 p.m., YouTube, Facebook. I will see you next Monday night, 4th of July, for an explosion of the way I see it. It's going to be fireworks galore. You know it. With me, Ralph Williams, the forgotten son of the Pittsburgh media. I am Ralph Williams. This has been Sports Corner. You have a good night. I approve this message, and be safe.